Hello everyone, in the Chopstick Friends, we have a very, very special section. We have an opportunity to meet with three beautiful, powerful ladies who love Vietnam, coming to Vietnam, stay in Vietnam, working in Vietnam. And we would have an opportunity to discuss with them, getting their insight, listening to their story about one particular topic that not always given to women. I mean, in some world's definition or some world's book. That's innovation. We live in the technology-driven AI world, and everybody talk about creativity, innovation, and there's some part who's saying that is mainly for people who's working on art or engineering technology. Do female leaders need the innovation mindset? What they think about changes, and what would they lead the changes with innovation? We would like to hear that from our guest today. So I would like to ask you first, Natalie. You lead the big team, small team, innovative teams, working on a very challenging, solving challenging problem. And when you think about innovation, like so many people talk and name it, everywhere we're saying it. I remember it's one big group already defined. Leading the chain or leading innovation is one of the top capacity or ability of the leader. And they use that to measure the ability of the leader in order to lead the team or not. What do you think about that? How would we define or really work on that term innovation in that sense, especially for female leaders?
Well, I think female leaders have, first of all, a great intuitive sense of just what's needed in the world, in their homes, in their lives. So actually, I think that will come really quite naturally to women who have, as I say, that capacity. Innovation for me, and in the workplace that I see, is simply about thinking creatively, thinking different, challenging norms, making mistakes, and from there we often see new initiatives grow and blossom. I think it's to get the best of out of innovation, and I'll leave it to the experts to talk soon about technology, but to get the best out of innovation as a mindset, I think is driving a culture that supports that, that's not steeped in one size fits all, that's not steeped in we've got this approach and we'll set and forget for the next couple of years. It's recognising, and this is what we seek to do with all of the leadership teams we work with, is take a macro view first, what is happening in and around our world, and then come down to an organisational level, what is happening in our company, what is happening for our people, how are their worlds changing? And in understanding some of those more macro points, we can then come into a more micro perspective of our own company about what is needed. But when the world is changing as rapidly as it is, when lifestyles are changing as rapidly as they are, it would be remiss of somebody not to embrace the concept of innovation. And there are multiple tools to do that, as well as mindset. But as I say, I'll leave the experts to talk on that soon.
But then, which means that you believe that innovation will put in the way that we learn from the past. We learn from what we did, maybe what we did in the same manner or what we used to do. And if we just adjust a little bit, we change a little bit, it's already a new thing. Can we call that innovation? And in leadership, in governance, any small changes like that, considering innovation?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you talk about the past. I mean, we've been through revolutions before.
Yes.
We've been through, cultural and industrial revolutions in the history of the world before. And actually, the history tells us that it was those great leaders that embraced what was happening, what was changing in the world, that led to innovations, modern day innovations that we have now. You can look at Henry Ford and the car as one example. But there are multiple times in the world where we are going through various iterations and various cycles. So this has been done before. Not in this way. It is up to the current generation, and indeed the future generations, to actually feel, understand and sense what the change that is presenting us with now, so that this is our own version of innovation in the world in which we operate. So yes, lots to be learnt from the past, lots to be learnt from where we are right now, but another great opportunity is learning from children and students. They are forging their way ahead at rapid speed. They are learning really unique tools that I certainly didn't learn at school in terms of soft skills, in terms of communication, and they are absolutely hands-on engaged in projects and research that are driving innovation. So to know that they are coming through, that generation is already of a mindset, they're not learning it, they know it, they are already intuitively feeling it. That's what the workforce has got to come, and I think that's incredibly optimistic and exciting.
That's wonderful, that's wonderful. So with that, I think that we would have the last very small question, but I think with driving, you just need to name one. I think it would be good quality. Maybe many people would talk about it, but quality for a female leader to drive changes and innovation. Is that some particular quality? And I would like others would also answer that question as well, because we talk in so many keywords. Women empowerment, women leadership. I mean, there's so many quality right now when people talk about one particular person who can drive changes, big or small changes. So if you can name one very important or the most important quality in your mind about driving changes in your organization, what would you prefer?
I would use the word confidence. I would absolutely, if I can make this a personal response, I would use the confidence that I know I have in my own family and in my own world to balance and to challenge and to change. We're constantly adapting as a family always, whether we're travelling, moving, raising children, juggling work and family life, juggling personal requirements. That confidence though in how we approach life can also be taken into the workplace. Have confidence to change and have confidence that those skills that we have as women are not something we leave at our door at home. We keep carrying that confidence into the workplace and encourage others to do the same.
I like that, confident, yes. You learn and you do everything to get that confidence. That's meant almost everything and cover everything. I like that. Thank you so much. So Christine, as a leader in technology, AI and all things, people still need to even, look into it and start to think, should I learn about it and how I can do it? And then could be somewhere that you are different from other leaders like us. Is there any other specific or different thing from the female leader in technology to driving changes and innovation needed?
Absolutely.
And different from other ladies. I want to focus on that.
So absolutely. So being the woman in technology, I'm often the only one or one of the few. And so that's really tough. So I think there's a lot more opportunity within technology space to have more women and more women leaders and to develop that. And I think to me that's super important because the great pay equalizer is going to be digital fluency. It is going to be where we are today in terms of technology and AI. And so really passionate about organizations like Teach Girls How to Code and really try to instill more STEM in a lot of young women and really bringing them up, because it's really important, because we're still underrepresented and we need more smart women minds, especially when you're thinking about leadership. We need to create that pipeline for leadership on the top, so that won't be standing as just the one or one of a few, but that just becomes the normal set within leadership and technology.
So like you say that you would need to find a way to empower more female leaders.
Correct.
And part of that would be creating a pipeline.
Yes.
That pipeline would actually take the way to help as many as possible. Is that what you're saying?
Absolutely.
Is that any biggest challenge?
It is the biggest challenge, and there's been so much research around what does that mean, not just from like the Western perspective, but really from a global perspective on what digital fluency could do for women in underrepresented, countries and communities, particularly for women. And it really is a fact from an economic standpoint that this is the great, equalizer in terms of pay, in terms of representation. And so that really becomes more important for us to nurture more talent, more women talent in STEM and technology.
Still about innovation, I just want to share with you, Alison, with all the ladies, we are working on this very interesting project. Like you were in manufacturing where we started, and then hospitality, and then, AI or engineering. The big gap between the school and the market is that what the student learn from the school and get to the work. We calling it the school to market program, and we're working on with few provinces right now, about 20 school and companies. And in order to get to that innovation, we have 4 steps to get there. For as one single student become a worker or manager, is that coming from single loop feedback. Can give one feedback in their work. The second level is they can do double loop feedback, where they actually can see the problem and then can actually explain why the root cause come from. The third level is, can you actually suggest some way to improve that? Because that all combined with the ability for young people to put their effort, patience, energy, problem solving, you name it, like 100 of them. But when it comes down to the result, that is the third one. Can you suggest some changes or suggestion for change? And the last one is actually when you can suggest changes, would you be able to get buy-in from others? Exactly what you said before. To turn that idea into something called solution or even innovation. We even call it fast failure intelligent if they fail. But if it's not fail, then it would be minimum values product, a viable product would be testing on some user. So the road going to innovation truly need to go through at least 4 or 3 steps like that. And we only not working on student to worker, but also from job to career with senior. What do you think about that? Is that truly the way to get to innovation?
Yeah, I think so. So, let's say, of course, as an employer, okay, we do see a gap from, young talent. So definitely they're very well equipped in terms of mathematics, science, engineering. But then we do see a gap. They're not ready to, set off and run into the workplace.
Yes.
So, and the gaps we see is when it comes to problem solving,
yes,
ability to navigate a global organization, so working in different cultures, also about expressing themselves confidently in a global setup. So I think with a program like this is definitely a very good step forward, because of course keeping in mind how is the education system today. So education system today, first of all, is still based on traditions, Confucian time, where authority, so there is hierarchy and the respect for authority. There is too much memorizing, okay, and there's too much emphasis on focus on the results from the exams, okay. So that is definitely a very big gap, okay, to how we expect people to be equipped for the working world.
Yes.
So I think working in an environment where they can show collaboration, first of all, working in a project, yes, okay, so collaborating with others, being able to see other people's perspectives, come to
that project.
Yes,
yes,
come to a consensus.
Yes.
Okay, another step is, again, as you said, giving feedback.
Yes.
So usually I think in the past, in the classes, maybe students are not really accustomed to this. So definitely working in this kind of environment will support them and will, get them more equipped.
Step by step, they will be confident with
yes,
the new idea. Yeah.
And next is, of course, problem solving. Understanding the root cause is key to ensuring that a problem is fixed, yes, and not just working on a superficial level.
Yes, yes, definitely.
So all this will definitely support you know, the kind of skills that we are looking for in the workplace today.
Yes, and not just skill, it's attitude, it's ability.
Exactly.
So the very last one, is anything different? Because we already talked about female leader. How about female worker, female employee, female manager in general? With that kind of step level, you think that would be, is one of a way to present? Do they need any specific different skill set or anything from the males?
So I always say, women just need to believe in themselves. Women are as capable as men.
Just keep saying that in our brain.
So
Tell
we just
them
have to,
every day.
they have to believe in themselves. So I'm lucky to actually have quite a balanced workforce, I must say. So female presence is quite big in the leadership team. And I can say, so I always say, the women in Vietnam, they're really the backbone of society. They are superwomen, so they, you know, they have to, they're you know, they're the drivers in the family, looking after the children, looking after maybe also the parents, and then are also very powerful at work.
Thank you so much. We feel very proud, humbly way to receive that. So in the end, I think that we have come here today is a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much for your time. Anything that you contribute, so it's not just a conversation. Is there anybody listening to us they can learn from, they can apply to their work, and that is the most important thing for this series. And I hope that every one of us keep thinking about the chopstick philosophy. Whenever is really happening would be in your work. We would love to hear more about your story, to fill the gap with strategy and execution. Every single time we're meeting again, we will hear new story and more inspiring story from you all. So I would like to wish you all the best for your work and for your journeys. Anything, you know, in your life, especially associated with Vietnam, please let us know, and would be possible to have, you know, your Vietnamese or your story in Vietnam's feature with us. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So much.